Okay, let's check if I'm live. I can't do this. Okay, it's a lot better. I feel like I can't talk when I am whatever. Talk when Okay. So few things I wanted to go over. One, I didn't actually get to show you the stickers from last week, so here they are. I realized that my camera was turned off when I came back to from checking the mail. So here they are. You can see I already put one on my laptop, but I can't show you that one. Okay, let's go back in the drawer. I might sell them, but what I want to do is I want to get 3 different sticker variations. So last week I did a psychedelic sticker. Actually, I can show you the psychedelic sticker. This one right here. Open with photos. Yeah, so you can see the outline of the microphone, and then I did a little swirly thing that I think I looked up like psychedelic posters to make that, and then I did the yellow submarine font for open podcast. So yeah, I might make this one into a sticker, and then Fajar is making a non-psychedelic whatever you call it logo. So I might make those 2 into a sticker and then sell those 3 designs. Alright, anyways, so this week's episode is about time spent listening versus downloads, and I talk about how downloads isn't a very good metric because it doesn't account for people actually listening to the podcast. It just counts how many people have downloaded the podcast. So I'm going to talk about why time spent listening, or it might be called average listen duration on some platforms. So yeah, I'm going to do that as an episode. Also, I got in trouble last week because I played Chuck Berry. So, no more music. What I want to do though is I want to play one of my podcast episodes or my videos and see if that also gets me in trouble. So what happened is I got emailed 6 times. Whoa, those are a lot of listeners or viewers. I got in trouble last week because I got 6 different emails because I played Chuck Berry, but I played the YouTube video. So, they emailed me. But okay. Anyways, let's get into it while everyone's watching. Okay, let me get a sip of water first. I don't need the headphones. I don't like them. Okay. Oh, I need my notes. That's what I need. Need notes. Where are my notes? Okay. 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 Building an indie business in the center of venture capital. I'm fuck. Okay. Building an indie business in the center of venture capital. I'm Alex Edmonds, and this is the Building an Indie Business podcast. Dun dun. Okay. Today I wanted to discuss metrics, and specifically one metric, time spent listening. And I'm gonna go over why that is a better metric than downloads, how to find this metric, what can you do with this information, why it's important, what can be done to get this to be a more common metric, and problems with it. Okay. Before we get into it, I wanted to discuss the survey I have. So, last week I announced a survey for the podcast, and it's just to get an idea of what you guys like to hear on the podcast and what you guys want to hear. So, you can tell me anything that's missing from the podcast or any episode ideas that you want to hear from me, and I will do an episode on them later. So I will put a link to that in the show notes. Okay, so let's get into it. Why is time spent listening a better metric than downloads? Because first of all, downloads is a vanity metric. It's not accurate. So a podcast counts as downloaded when it just goes into someone's podcast app. It doesn't actually measure if someone actually listened to the podcast episode. Time spent listening actually measures if people are listening. So it'll take the average of all the listens that your podcast or the podcast episode has, and it will create an average out of that. So if your 3-hour podcast is downloaded 100 times, but the time spent listening is 10 minutes, people aren't listening to your podcast, and downloads will not tell you that. So how can you find this metric? Well, it's not a standard metric, so you have to go to each individual platform, and it will show you your time spent listening per platform. So you go to Apple Analytics, you have to go to Spotify, Stitcher has this also, and all the others. Okay, what can you do with this information? The first thing you can do is you can place things you need people to hear based on your time spent listening. So let's say your podcast is 20 minutes and people stop listening after 10 minutes, and you definitely want people to hear that you want people to rate and subscribe to your podcast. Put that at the beginning, don't put it at the end. If you have advertisers, you can charge more based on your time spent listening. So again, if you have a 20-minute podcast and people only listen 10 minutes, charge your advertisers more for the first 10 minutes. If people are leaving early, figure out how to catch their attention before they leave. So if people are leaving after 5 minutes in your 20-minute podcast, figure out a way to get them to stay for longer. Have an attention grabber, have like a cliffhanger, something that makes them want to stay. The next thing you could do is send out a survey. Create a survey, ask people why they're leaving, ask them why, what can get them to stay, and then change those things around for your podcast. Okay. The final thing that you can do is ask for reviews. And what these reviews will do is the people will say, oh, this podcast is great, but I can only listen to half of it because ... And then you can fix your podcast based on what they say. It's kind of like the survey, but a little different. Okay. So why is this important? Well, the very first reason why it's important is because it shows how underdeveloped the podcast industry is. It's a common metric on other platforms. On YouTube, it's called average view duration. And I'll get into YouTube a little later and talk about time spent listening on YouTube. Okay. The next reason why this is important is because it's a metric that can help podcasters improve their content. Okay. What can be done? How can we get time spent listening to be a standard metric in the podcast industry? Okay. One thing you can do is contact your podcast host and ask to include the metric in your podcast analytics. The next thing you can do is get podcasting news sources to write about it. By getting podcasting news sources to write about time spent listening, podcast hosts will see that people want this metric and they will figure out a way to provide this metric. Okay. Just talk about it. It'll create chatter about the metric, and it'll news sources will write about it, and then podcast hosts will read it, and then they'll figure out a way to include it. The next thing you can do is ask venture capitalists for a bunch of money to create the solution yourself. Yeah, right. Okay. So why downloads is used instead of time spent listening? Well, the first thing is because downloads is easy to track. It just every time the RSS feed is hit, then someone downloaded your podcast. The next reason why downloads is used is because it's an easy standard. If there's a 10-minute podcast and there's a 3-hour podcast, they have different time spent listenings no matter what. So it's kind of hard to track which one is the better podcast based on time spent listening. Okay. Problems with time spent listening. The first problem is that it gives you an average number. 33% of your listeners finished 99% of your podcast. Okay, so it would be kind of hard to track the changes in the time spent listening because if you have a lot of listeners, a new episode might not change your time spent listening so much. So if the episode is bad and people turn it off sooner, you might not be able to see that. Another problem, which I kind of already went over, is that it's not a standard metric, and you have to go to individual platforms to check this out. Check out this this metric. So it's kind of hard to track because each platform may have a very different time spent listening. So your time spent listening on Apple might be 5 minutes, Spotify 7 minutes, Stitcher 10 minutes, and so it's kind of hard to gauge whether people are listening. Okay. It'd be difficult to implement because of RSS. So RSS, the downloads are pinged. It'll ping the RSS feed, and that's how it's tracked. So it's one ping. With time spent listening, the RSS feed will have to be pinged the entire time someone is listening. So that would be hard to change because that's very different from how RSS works right now. Okay. So what's a better solution, or how can you track this right now? I would do overall downloads plus time spent listening. So you have 100 listens and 33% of your listeners finished 99% of your podcast. Well, you have 33 listeners, not 100. Okay. That's it for now. Thank you for listening. If you are interested in hosting your own episode of the Open Podcast Community Podcast, come to the Telegram chat, which will be linked to in the show notes, and I can help you with that. The advantage of the Open Podcast Community Podcast is that you don't have to go through the hassle of setting up a podcast. I've already done that. You just need to send me the audio file and tell me what you want in the show notes, and I'll launch it to the Open Podcast Community Podcast. And I can post a link to the podcast in the show notes because it's now released. I have released 3 episodes. So the trailer, my episode about the Open Podcast Community Podcast, and an episode where I interview Brendan Weinstein. Okay. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Bye. Okay. That wasn't that bad. I thought I would have to re-record that. But oh shit. I forgot to promote this on the thing. Yeah, I didn't post this to the Telegram chat. Streaming. I already recorded the episode, though. Okay. Yeah, that's not... Okay. That sucks. Okay. Yeah, this episode wasn't that bad. It was kind of... it was really rough, though. This was kind of just an idea I had in my mind, and I didn't really know how to shape it. It wasn't like interviewing, where that episode I had like, here's what I did wrong, and I knew for sure. This was kind of like something that just I kind of thought about, and I thought it's a good idea to share. Time spent listening. Okay. Okay. Yeah, as long as I hit 10 minutes on the episodes now, it's not that disappointing to me. I try not to have single-digit episodes. So, yeah. But, that's about it. Hey! Yeah, I just recorded the episode, now I'm uploading it, and the next thing I'm going to do is the newsletter. I have all the links, but they're scattered, so I have to change that up, and then I have to figure out who I'm gonna promote for the podcast highlight. So yeah. Okay. Oh Jesus. Oh, first things first. Headliner. We have to promote. No, not promote. But we have to do the headliner thing. The very first thing we need to do. Because why do we need the... Oh, because this takes the longest, so I like doing this first. Okay, TSL. Add image. Okay. Okay. Alright, I don't know who's watching. Probably no one. Okay. Already. Okay. That's totally fine. Okay. Now we're gonna go to MailChimp. And I've been promoting the newsletter on Reddit just by posting the link in a little something else. Just like a little blurb to make it look like I'm not just self-promoting, but I am providing value to other people. So there's this one, and then there's this one. So this is the episode from this week, and then this is the issue from last week. Not the episode, the issue. Oh snap. Okay. Okay. Actually, let me see. I'm gonna try the thing that I talked about earlier. Yellow submarine font. That's funny. Okay. I'm not gonna play that much of it. Okay. Videos. Okay. Ooh. Hello and welcome to the Building and Indie Business Podcast. Oh. You can't hear it. I'm your host, Alex Edmonds. Today, I'll be doing a very light episode. I'm doing an episode on the history of the podcast industry. So the format for this episode is I will say a month and year, sometimes just a year, and I will say what happened in that year. And on occasion, I will say why this is important, or I will give commentary on the fact or the thing that I mentioned. The fact. Okay. So let's get into it. 2003. Adam Curry and Dave Weiner invent podcasting. And in 2004, the podcast is given its name. It is based on the words iPod and broadcast. Okay, so why this is important is because it's the very beginning of podcasting. Okay, so 2003, the first podcast, Radio Open Source, is started. This is a podcast that is still active, and it is hosted by at one point it was hosted by David Weiner, but it's hosted by Christopher Lydon. So yeah, it's still active. If you guys want to listen to it, check it out. 2004, the first podcast host, Libsyn, is started. Okay. Perfect timing. The podcast has people come in and out. Yeah, it's kind of annoying because I start to talk to them and it's like time spent listening as a metric for your podcast. wrong one. Whoopsie. So yeah, hold on. Hold on. Do. So I think I've talked about this before, but the reason I try to keep my podcast episodes in between like 10 and 20 minutes is because the average commute is 20 minutes, and many people listen to podcasts in their car, and so I just try to keep it under 27 or 20 minutes, but the average commute is 27 minutes, not 20. So yeah, and then the interview, honestly, the interview I did, it was 50 minutes, and even I was like, I kind of don't want to listen to this. And you could see it's only 31, and this one is 44. So, yeah. I don't know. It sucks. Yeah. So, if my podcast episode is under 10 minutes, I scrape it, or what do I do? I don't scrape it, but I re-record it. So I don't delete it. What do I do? I don't scrape it. Oh yeah, I do delete the episode. I delete it and then I re-record it. So, doing the episode one time gives me ideas for other things to say. So, I delete it. I improve my notes that I have based on the other things that I've thought about, and then I re-record it based on the new notes. Okay, give me a sec. Oh, not this one. I've already dealt with this one. Okay. Alright, I'm back. As you can see, I'm back again. Time spent listening. So I don't really fill out my notes that much, or my show notes, or my description. But But people keep asking me to, like, be more detailed. So, I bet, and what I do is I copy the description when I post it somewhere. And then, what do? I copy the description, the link, and the title. So, just being more descriptive in the title or in the description just makes it easier for me. I don't have to think of something else to write, or like think of the main points that they're gonna hear in the podcast. It's right here. I don't have to rethink the stuff. Okay, whatever. Anything interesting going on Telegram right now? No. Alright. Okay, 50, 51. Next week, episode 52. That means I've been doing podcasts for a year. Oh, and improve your posture, you clown. Okay. Alright. What is it? Okay, I need this 2-minute read. Back in October, I analyzed her into. Since then, much has changed. In 2019, they removed some very true crime history fiction. The sheer amount of volume is depending on the U.S. number currently sits at. So I just said they were against using the samples. Okay. Christianity. Dude, are you serious? Gross. Religion. Among the least crowded includes science, mathematics, sports, swimming, science, chemistry. Alright. So if you want to have a niche podcast, do science, mathematics, swimming, and chemistry. Chemistoire. That's what I used to call it when I was in school. I forget why though. But yeah. I'd be like, time to go to Chemistoire. Chemistoire. I don't remember why I called it that. That was my junior year of high school. So that was 2012, 2013. 7 years ago. Okay. Chemistry. Chemistry. Can't even pronounce it like I used to. It wasn't chemistry, it was chemistry. No, it wasn't that. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I used to do. One of the many things. Yeah, I was a troublemaker. It was a very funny class. I always compare writing on the board to that class because what I used to do. So he would call me up to the board knowing I didn't know the answer. And I'd go, hey, to the person next to me, to the right of me. We're still friends to this day, actually. I used to be like, hey, can I borrow your notes for this question? And then I'd just copy her answer, or she'd be like, no, I didn't do it. So I would go up and just write I'd write chemistry. He'd have me write a covalent bond sometimes. And I would just write whatever, whatever I knew, just how to do. And I was a class clown, so so I'd walk away with my head down, and people would look at the board and what I did, and they just start laughing. Like, what the hell did you do? And the professor, teacher, whatever, he'd just be like, Alex, that isn't right. And I'd be like, oh, sorry. Yeah, good times. Yeah, it was a great class. Had a lot of fun, but didn't learn anything. Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know. I was apologizing to my high school chemistry teacher, not you guys. I really think that's a funny story. Yeah. I don't know. It's just I've graduated from college and still I don't. Is that how you spell the last name? Meis. E-N-E-R. Why did I start talking about high school chemistry? Oh, I know why. I started talking about that because the least crowded ones are science, math, and science, chemistry. Oh, hey. 2 weeks in a row. Good job, Dan. You managed to catch my eye twice in 2 weeks in a row. Interesting. Okay. That's one of them. Look at all my notes. My notes. I don't know. Okay. Fajar, Brandon, James, Michelle, Michaela, and Catherine. Okay, who's next? Oh, fun. Okay. Let's just worry. Week. Okay. Advertising a podcast, part 2. Bind, search. Radio, public, live, measuring listeners. Paid Twitter videos. Oh, these are all... I like you over here. These are all the paid channels. So, like, how to... who's the dude who wrote this one? Yeah, I don't like... Is that his name? Grow his podcast. Yeah, you know what? Whatever. Okay, now what do I do? I have a bunch of articles. They're just on my phone. Okay. Load. Not this one. Of course it's useless. Oh, this one. Over here. I'm walking over here. Okay, too much. Slow it down. You know what I should do? Mm. Mm. I like this one. I like this one. Yeah, people. I don't know. No one's watching now, but people will watch the replay of this. Alright. Raw, uncut interviews with podcast guests. Okay. You know what I need? I need a bot that will detect anytime I'm streaming and then immediately send it to the Telegram group. Because I always forget to send it to the Telegram group. Did I ever get this video? Yes, I did. YouTube? Okay. I thought they were bothering me. Alright. We'll do this. But I gotta go check the mail. Not that I'm waiting for the mailman. Get away! Get away. Okay. Clearly I'm back because you can hear me yelling. Dude, you know what these streams are? They're a record of my hair. Yeah. See, you can see how long my hair is from like the week after I got it cut to now. And same thing with my facial hair. Like all of my hair on my head. It's weird. So like you'll see when I stopped shaving, and you'll see when I got my hair cut to when I get my next haircut. I don't know. Something to think about. Oh, I didn't finish. I didn't finish. Oh, because... Right. Please tell me that it was fine. Okay, good. Who am I gonna highlight this week? So, like I said, I've been posting the newsletter on Reddit. And I also posted the community on Reddit. And that has given me... I didn't need to do that. Like 3 or 4 members in the community. Not that that's a bad thing, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's just, oh, they have podcasts, and I now have a bunch of podcasts to promote. So I don't know how to choose, you know? That's all I was saying. Not that it's a bad thing to have these people in the community. It's just something I've never expected to get like 5 members in 1 week and not have something to, like, I've never expected to have a bunch of members all at once where it's hard for me to like choose, oh, who am I going to promote next? But I do now. And so, yeah, I have members for the next 5 weeks to promote. So, yeah. Okay. But this week, it's all about me and my podcasts, because I launched the community podcast for Open Podcasts. So, that is what we are promoting this week in the newsletter. My stuff. Because this is my ideas and my work. No, I'm just kidding. I've always said this. I just run the community, but the community is owned by everyone. Okay. The community has launched. Oh, dude. Excuse me. I deleted has launched twice. Okay. So what I have to do for next week's episode is I have to scroll through all of the conversations from the week and then find that one guy's podcast. I know it's about sports, and I remember saying, oh, this is the first sports podcast in the community. So all I have to do is remember to promote the podcast and then search for the word sports in the Telegram chat, and then I should be okay. Okay. Can you hear me? Is this louder or softer? I don't know, dude. It's been a long day. Has launched the Open Podcast Community Podcast about why is it saying saved? Highlighting members of the community. And now that I have this thought, I'm gonna say it. I've been counting episodes, trying to get to 52, because that's a year. I've done more than 52 episodes recorded. Both just on BAIB. building an indie business and just the stuff that I've scraped. And I did an extra episode. So, what did I do? I played that episode. I scraped the episode about the history of the podcast industry. I did one where I say I'm taking a break because I kind of got tired of podcasting. And then I did an episode on Lyft as a public company. Those 3 episodes are on YouTube, but I recorded them like they were a podcast episode because I wanted to post them add them to this podcast, but I scraped them because I decided they were whatever. Oh, well, I decided not to take a break. Lyft, it wasn't really related to my podcast, and then I just didn't like the podcast industry one. Yeah, but you can listen to it. It's there. Check out my YouTube channel. If you want to listen to it. You don't have to, though. I don't care. It's whatever. The latest episode is an interview with Brendan Weinstein. Okay. Open podcast, community podcast. Link. Stop saying link. Oh. Yeah, okay. God. That is such a great cover. Thank you for Jar. Podcast. It's clearly not here. Stop making fun of me. Okay. It's somewhere. Somewhere over the rainbow. I can't. I have 1 million podcasts in my podcast player. And I still try to search for my podcast. When I'm like looking for a specific podcast, I don't just type it in. I have to search for it first. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. I need to stop that. Yes. Zippity doo dah, zippity day. You know what I haven't done? My nose! I haven't done the last one. I'm just sitting there. Okay, where am I? I don't need you anymore. I don't need you anymore. Do I need this anymore? No. No. Okay. Made. Unlink. Then 20 membership ideas to engage your listeners. Oh. Yes. Choose one. Your streamer is still running in the background. Whenever you're ready, click OK below to end your stream recording. Okay. Later. Don't bother me. Go somewhere else. I have to put you right here. Dude, I can't believe that. It just crashed. Just leave me alone. Okay. Where's the newsletter? You're so lame. "28 membership ideas to engage your listeners." Okay. Dude, leave me alone. Dude. Engage your listeners and provide extra content for them. Yeah, let's just say that. I will not fade away. Fade away. Okay. Okay. Now that we okay. I was gonna put I didn't put a thing. I didn't put a link for the thing. Okay. Dirt. It's there somewhere. Okay. I can see it. Okay, let me turn that off and turn it back on. There it is. Okay. Now I know how to get things. The Open Podcast Community Podcast. Link. Link. Okay. I think this is it. Yeah. Save and close. Continue. February 19th, 1999. That was the day. No. Okay. That's move. Schedule. Why does OBS always crash on me? Last week I created 6 different videos. Stop doing that to me, sir. It's annoying. It's annoying. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now is take this. I got all of these. So that way, when it comes time to share this, I just have the link right there. Good idea, Alex. Okay. The final thing I will be doing for this stream is posting the thing on YouTube. Why did it take me so long to come up with that? I don't know, dude. It's been a long day. Not really. But in other news, I am My internet keeps going down. I don't know why. I don't know why. Ding 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 ding. Ooh, 39, 49. Almost. Okay. Ding 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 ding. Okay, so I was having problems with the website. Just like this one problem, it kept saying, "Oh, I have the error somewhere. Where is it?" This error kept popping up, and the thing is, it's like I made sure the back end works. You can see it here. This is my back end. This is it. This is what I want to grab, and I want to post it to the website. But it doesn't work. And then I was randomly Googling this morning before I started this, and I found the solution to the error. So this error basically says that they can't find add comments. Dude, leave me alone. And it turns out it's another page. I can't. Oh, where is it? Is it this one? Okay, it's here. It's listed weird, or I don't have the thing here that lets it post to whatever. Not my problem, but actually it is my problem, but yeah. So I just have to, I think it's this one here. One of these two. I just have to add this to there, and that's it. I'm gonna do it later today. I don't know. I get tired after a stream. Most streams I usually just sleep after. But I've been looking for this error for a couple of days now. A couple of days ago even. Let's check when it was. I said that I would not sleep until I find this error. It was like 3 days ago. Luckily I didn't do that because I would be not sleeping. Oh, here. When did I say this? Dude, it was days ago. I think this was Wednesday, and I'm recording this on Friday. And so that would be 2 days without sleep. Yeah. And the thing is, I started yawning at 11 o'clock on Wednesday because I couldn't. I don't do all-nighters. It's not in my wheelhouse. I'm just not that kind of, I don't know. It's just not my thing. Schedule. Is this the 24th? Yeah, the 24th. 24th. Okay. Move. Leave me alone. Time spent listening as a metric for your podcast. Okay. February 1st. Oh, what is this? Oh, this is the Taking a Break episode. So it's scheduled for 2025. Yeah. So, also, if you have any questions, email me at SupremeRumHam. I would like to start doing an episode where I just answer people's questions. But you need to email me questions for that to be a thing. So, any questions, email me, SupremeRumHam@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, or watching, I guess. See you next week. Have a nice week.